and welcome to the Growth Advantage podcast. I'm excited to be joined today by Simon Hughes, Managing Director of GeoBear UK. GeoBear is an international ground engineering organisation providing solutions for home subsidence issues and ground improvement for infrastructure and commercial sites. Thanks for coming on the podcast today, Simon.
Very welcome. Great to see you.
It'll be great to find out your business insights, and I'd love to start with a bit more information about your role within the business.
Yes, so as the Managing Director of the UK operations, as you quite rightly mentioned, we're a global organisation, and the UK business is a significant part of that global organisation. So my role within the business is everything that sits within the UK, so everything from looking after our marketing teams, our sales and business development teams, engineering, all the way through to our business operations and our site operations, our team operations out on the ground. So end-to-end responsibility for the UK operations.
Fantastic. And what current trends are you seeing in the marketplace at the moment in your sector? For example, new tech, things that may be coming on the scene that are either improving, enhancing your offering?
It's a great question because I think there are so many different changes coming on. So we work across a multitude of different sectors. Within ground engineering as a whole, there's a lot of innovation coming forward. It's an industry that obviously is built on fairly traditional values and traditional methodologies and ways of working. Resin injection, that is the methodology we pioneer, is very much at the forefront of the innovative end of ground engineering, which I think is that innovation plays out through everything that we do as an organisation.
Yes.
So we're very much using technology to help drive efficiency internally within our organisation, but also to drive a much better customer experience. We are heavily invested and involved in the implementation and understanding of how AI can drive better performance for our business, for our people, and as I say, for our customers. I think as an industry as a whole, that's probably the biggest area of innovation that we're seeing is the adoption of technology to drive better outcomes. And I think because whilst ground engineering is one sector in itself, the whole of the construction industry still very much working to understand and embrace technology and understand how it can deliver better value for customers as well as the organisations that operate within it.
And at what stage are you at? Are you now engaging with AI tools in your business?
Yes, we do on a daily basis. So we have multiple different AI tools that we use to engage our customers, engage the market, to drive internal efficiency, to plan work, to manage our teams and efficiency and effectiveness. So the use of AI is a daily interaction for nearly all of our employees.
So have you got your own tools that have been built specifically for your company, or do you outsource and use tools from other places?
We use outsourced tools, but also we do a lot of bespoke in-house technology. We use a lot of in-house technologies that we've tailored and used bespoke around our CRM system, our operating systems, etc. The AI solutions that we use and the packages that we use integrate with our own internal systems.
And how are you finding client acquisition right now in the current climate? And has this changed much over the last year or so?
We all know what's going on in the current climate. We know that things are tougher. That I think clients are understandably and quite rightfully wanting more value. So
Yes.
I think what we're seeing is that our clients expect the best, quite rightly, as they should, and they're expecting the best solutions from providers. So what we're seeing is the requirement for us and others in our industry and our market to continue to deliver best value, best practice, and excellent client and customer service in order to retain customers. But obviously the markets are tougher at the moment. Everyone is feeling the pinch, and so that naturally reflects on how tough it is to how much effort and precision you have to put in order to win work.
Of course. And so how are you trying to differentiate yourself from other companies in the sector to make you the go-to choice?
Within our sector and the realms of what we deliver, resin injection and ground engineering, we are the original pioneers of the resin injection solution, and we very much focus on our engineering capacity and capability. So all of our works are individually tailored and designed by qualified engineers, and we pride ourselves on being able to build bespoke solutions. We don't generalise any solutions. We build bespoke solutions for each individual customer and aligned to their specific need.
So would you say that the competition is limited because of that bespoke offering that you provide?
I've always been a firm believer that you should never underestimate your competition. I wouldn't say competition is
Of
limited
course.
at all, but I think that's our key differentiators. I think
Yeah.
that's what stands us out above and beyond our competitors.
But looking at the overall sort of business right now, what would you say is your biggest challenge that you're facing?
That's a really good question. We're always facing different challenges. I think the challenges change from month to month or quarter, year to year, depending on what's going on externally and internally. I think we're seeing a lot of competition in our market right now, which is a good thing because obviously it only helps drive better performance from us and from our business.
Yeah.
It helps improve the standards across the industry, and it is better for customers, obviously, because there's that increased choice. So I think that's probably one of the key challenges that we're seeing. But also then and that's more in our sort of our private side of our business, the residential side of our business.
Yes.
But in the sort of commercial and infrastructure side of our organisation, where we focus in those markets, we're seeing that there are constraints on budgets, planned programmes of work, planned expenditure is being shifted and pushed back, aligned to other outside market forces.
Right. And so, therefore, how do you manage and monitor the financial performance of the business to make sure that things are still on track?
So we monitor our performance of our business on a daily basis. Everything we do is we have daily targets. We have daily recording of our financial and operational performance. And so we're constantly measuring everything that we do so that we can see that performance and we can then react accordingly to ensure that there's no big surprises.
And what are your key performance indicators for measuring that success?
Fairly standard key KPIs that all organisations have. So obviously order intake. We look at revenue as well as we obviously place a huge emphasis on safety of our people. So we measure a lot of our performance around safety, customer satisfaction,
Right.
the standard performance measures really.
And do you have a sales and marketing team in-house, or do you outsource sales and marketing?
All our sales and marketing is in-house. All of our teams are in-house. We don't outsource anything.
Great. And looking to the future now of the business, what are the goals for the next 6 to 12 months?
From a business perspective, our goals, we're looking to continue to drive innovation across the industry. We're looking to increase sustainability and increase our sustainability achievements as we look to decarbonise more and more what we do within the industry.
Right.
And obviously, like every ambitious business, our key objective is to grow and to deliver significant growth to the business, which enables us to innovate more, deliver better solutions for our customers.
And further afield, so in say 3 years' time, where would you like to see the business? What would you envision for it?
More of the same, really, is the short answer. I think what we're looking, we will say we're ambitious for our people, for our staff, for the industry. Oh, sorry, the lights have come on. For the industry and also for our customers and clients. We manage a challenge that happens that isn't going to go away. So subsidence is not an issue that's going to disappear. So for us, it's all about making sure that we are able to deliver more for our customers to help them understand that challenge and mitigate those challenges.
Right, of course. And where do you see the biggest opportunities for expansion?
That's a good question. Right now, I think there's probably one of the key areas that we would see for expansion is probably in sort of the commercial sectors, looking across the commercial real estate and commercial operations side of the industry. I think there's big areas for us to be able to support more customers in that space. But again, I think it's more to do with innovation of delivery and innovation of technology. That's where the biggest areas of opportunity are.
Of course. So if you had unlimited resources, what would you change or implement first into the business?
There's the $64 million question. Unlimited resources, I think we would look very much to invest more in our business, our people, to enable us to do those innovations that we're looking for faster.
Right.
Be able to design and develop even better solutions and even more innovative solutions for our clients.
I know that you said growth obviously is important, as it is with so many businesses. And obviously you've just mentioned there that you'd like to be able to sort of invest heavily in people to make sure to achieve those growth goals. Initiatives, if any, have you implemented recently that have had a particularly big impact on the business?
Well, as I've sort of mentioned, I think probably the biggest single impact is our implementation of AI tools to
Right.
enable our people to operate a lot more efficiently and effectively, so freeing up their time to focus on value-adding activities, being able to deliver more for our clients, and actually spend more time with our clients, with our customers, understanding their needs, so that we can then deliver better solutions, better outcomes for them.
Yes, of course. With all the AI tools and other technologies that you've perhaps introduced, have you found any strategies or tried anything that didn't work as well for you?
I think not so much didn't work as well. I think probably the challenge when looking to quickly start to implement and embrace technology in the space of AI is there's so many different options out there. So
Yes, of course.
I think the challenge is probably more how to make decisions quickly as to what works best for you and for your business and what doesn't. So
Yes.
we've turned off several AI applications and solutions that don't necessarily integrate with what we want, and so that you make sure that you don't end up with a sort of disparate tech stack that doesn't integrate. That's probably the biggest
Yes.
challenge.
There's so much choice, isn't there, out there, and I guess it's a bit of trial and error finding which is the right fit for you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and also there's so many different technologies out there that are very similar, and so
Yeah.
unless you're an expert in that field, it's very hard to know the difference between them until you've used them and tried them. But it's then about being quick to analyse, understand, and respond, and make decisions accordingly.
Of course, and making sure that it's actually beneficial rather than just something you're adding which adds extra workload, making it something that's actually streamlining processes, I guess, rather than
Correct,
making more
100%.
work.
Exactly. Yeah.
And looking at sort of your particular role, Simon, within the business, sort of what is a typical day for you? What does that look like, sort of in your day to day in the business?
Well, typical day, I try to make sure that it starts with some form of exercise to keep me as alert as I can be.
Yeah.
But we are predominantly a remote working business, so we spend a
Right.
lot of our working remotely, and then bringing people together as required, once or twice a week. So a lot of my time is spent online. I spend a lot of my time with the various teams across the UK business, supporting them through the day. As a ground engineering organisation and an operating business, obviously we have daily customers, daily projects, so daily
Yeah.
challenges will come up, everything from access to properties, alignment of teams, to dealing with traffic.
Yeah.
I don't have a typical day. My day is very varied, which I love. It's always spent engaging with multiple different members of the team across the UK business and managing the challenges that inevitably arise.
And with the business, obviously you're being the UK based business. What other regions does the business operate from, and how involved are you with those other regions?
So we operate globally. So we've got operate in the US, China, in the Nordics, in the Middle East, and I speak with members of those different departments on a daily basis. So we all connect daily to
Right.
share challenges, ideas, any issues that we've got, to support each other. So I line and link in with those guys on a daily basis.
So they do work in synergy with each other.
Yes, we work independently, but we work with synergies, and we support each other as and required.
Great. Within the UK business, would you say what percentage would you say of your clients are residential versus commercial?
It's about a sort of a moment.
Right. Okay. And do you think is that the way you think it will stay? Because that's fairly balanced, really, isn't it? Considering,
It is fairly balanced. As I said before, we're looking to grow. We believe there's opportunity to grow more in the commercial side of the
right.
business. Fundamentally, at our heart is a residential. Supporting the residential side of the business and our residential customers is fundamentally what we're all about.
Right, of course. So when you say then that you want to grow the commercial business, you'd still want to keep sort of that balance of around 40% on the residential, or would you envisage that that changing slightly, that weighting?
No, that weighting would probably stay roughly the same.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And going back to sort of your outreach now, how do you go about obtaining clients? What's the sort of the strategies that you use there?
We use all sorts of different strategies. So obviously, there's a lot of digital marketing, digital engagement, but we use our personal networks. We use the networks that we have through our engineering facilities. So we do a lot of online and face-to-face certified professional development. So we
Right.
spend a lot of time educating the industry. And that obviously leads to a lot of new relationships, which we then build and grow on.
Right. Yes, of course. So, and would you say, do you do things like webinars and that kind of outreach as well?
Yes, a lot of the
Yeah.
webinars, they continuous professional development
Yeah.
sessions. So we do a lot of CPDs that people can people can dial into and start to understand more about how the industry works. And we have a strong uptake on that. So our CPDs are well recognised across the industry and well attended.
Do you do any sort of social media outreach or sort of email outreach as well?
Yes, we do. We do tend to do that, but social media outreach tends to be confined to our not confined, but tends to align more through our online marketing. So obviously the standard social media platforms, web-based marketing, etc. Now our email approach to email marketing is more direct emails for relationships that we have rather than wide spamming of accounts.
And when we're looking at your commercial clients, what type of clients are they generally?
Well, they vary. So it's obviously all asset related. So it's the commercial clients that have built assets, so that have buildings. So everything from distribution centres, warehouses, pubs, schools, a very varied background.
Fantastic. Right from small scale to really large scale, I guess, and everything
Absolutely,
in
yeah, yeah.
between. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Well, it's been really interesting hearing everything that you've had to say about the business so far. Is there anything else that you'd like to share in particular about the business, what you do, where people can find you, any events or webinars coming up, anything else at all that you'd like to share?
I think that obviously we can be found online. We do a lot of work within the insurance sector, linking to the likes of I Love Claims and the Subsidence Forum. We are out and about at all of the major industry events, rail industry networks, at the Ground Engineering Awards. We've been nominated for a few awards, so we've got that coming up in the next few weeks. So we are. We're actively out there supporting all of our different markets, and so I think people can find us wherever we want. We have regular webinars coming up. Check out our LinkedIn pages where we advertise all of our webinars and CPDs, and it'd be great to see people.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. And it's been great speaking to you today, Simon, and hearing all about your business. And we wish you every success for the future.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me. It's been great to chat to you.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye bye.